short story, part 4, audio section. Hey everyone! So it's been a while since I updated this, huh? Well, today I'm doing this a little different. Don't worry, the story's the same, but this is audified, in case you haven't figured that out from the title or the intro page of the video or the fact that I'm reading this as you watch. If you don't enjoy audiobooks or having things being read to you, then by all means you can mute me. Right now if you want. I won't be offended either, so yeah. Okay, all those people who muted, go now. Okay, all of you who stayed, thank you. Now that those guys are out of the way, we can start. Let's see what I've done to the gang. Okay, quick message before we actually begin. This is me saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to put pics into this. Hear me out. I just didn't really have time to find a bunch of photos and edit them and stuff. Plus, I didn't want to clutter this up with writing and a different background, which is the green stuff, and the audio. And the actual books don't have pics all the time, but forgive me. Now, let's properly start. Chapter 1, Keith. I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's a lot I haven't gotten a chance to tell you guys. His blue eyes locked with Keith before he added, a lot of which has to do with your legacy. What do you know? I managed to hiss between my teeth. A lot more than you would think. And knowing you want proof. So fine. Your mother gave you the mesmer ability, but it's not you who can control people. What? Fitz questioned, his perfect brows arching up. Yes. He can control people, but he isn't the only one. So you're saying he can... Sophie pressured, and Keith could feel her worry bubbling up. We shouldn't talk about it out in the open. We all exchanged a glance except for Forgle. He was hiding something, and by the looks of it, he knew the impending doom that was my oh-so-wonderful legacy. We all reluctantly trudged after him into Havenfield. Why do I feel like he's lying? Banks' boy murmured. No, he isn't. I can tell, I muttered through a sigh. But what can he do to help us? Why now? Why did he decide to reach out when the Neverseen dropped him? Yeah, sure, he's Sophie's father, but what right does he have? Dex fumed. I guess we're about to find out, Sophie muttered, just as we reached Havenfield's doorstep. We all exchanged one final glance, and an understanding passed between us as we all sat in Havenfield's living room. Now listen, whether you accept this and take it as truth or dump it, I don't care. What I'd advise you to do is the Neverseen have you dead in this area of your war. So take it whether you want to, but just know you will thank me later, Keaton warned. Sounding so caring right now, Sophie murmured, in a tone that showed just how clearly she had a distaste towards her newly found father. Listen carefully and listen close, because I will only say this once. He paused, his electric eyes studying everyone in the room carefully before he whispered. His mother can control him, just how he can control others. She hasn't manifested as a mesmer, but her son's mind allows itself to be manipulated by her. All she has to do is think. Hold up. So you're saying I'm a puppet? His eyes focused on me, as if searching the depths of my broken soul before he nodded and said, yes, just like a puppet. Chapter 2, Sophie. How foolish are you? How foolish do you think we are? You actually expect us to believe that you are Sophie's dad, and that my mom's suddenly able to control me by the mere act of thinking? Seriously, who do you think you are? Keith fumed before turning on a heel and storming out. It was rare I ever wished for another ability, but then and there all I wished for was to be an empath and understand how he felt. I was standing up to chase after him when I felt 2 hands hold me back. Leave him. It's better if he takes time alone, Brianna whispered. What do you mean alone? For all we know, he could get entranced by his freaky mother. Because you trust him, Fitz asked, jutting a thumb towards Keaton. Yes. No. Yes. Look, I don't know, but I think he is telling the truth. Because his mom is more than capable of doing something that horrible, and we know that. She can and did. So we either believe him and get sucked into a realm of lies and prepare ourselves for either realizing we've been played, or he was telling the truth, or we just wait like sitting ducks. But honestly, I'm sick of waiting. So, no. I am sick of being played by them, and sick of acting like a pet and puppet, and letting them walk all over us. I don't care whether I sound reckless right now, but I'm done. I'm done of being manipulated and figuring stuff out and waiting. I want to fight back. Everyone just sat in shock after my unexpected outburst, and I wouldn't blame them. But come on. They can't tell me they aren't sick of this either. In my peripheral vision, I saw Mr. Forkle smile, and for the split second our eyes connected and our hearts and souls touched. I knew he was about to transmit something to me. I wholeheartedly agree, but that is a bit reckless, is it not? Mr. Forkle, I know I don't have a plan, but tell me, are you content as a sitting duck? Not to be a bother, but no mental conversations, everyone said at once. My cheeks went up in flames, but I shook my head and said, all we were saying was that he agrees and that I need a plan, which I have. To prove Ethan's assumption, not fact, we must lure Gazella into this. But first, we need Keefe. Everyone smiled as I marched out to find him. I kept my face nonchalant as I walked out the door and into the lush, swooping pastures. Stars started blinking into sight as the sun set. Quick author message, I don't remember what time it was when I had finished the last part, so just pretend it's sunset, okay? Continuing. The sky was painted in all the colors of peace, the colors that reminded you of sunshine, the red of scarlet chivalry, the orange of a fading memory, the yellow of a sugary, sleepy afternoon, and the pinks of joy, the different colors and light all cast down into the lush valley where the animals roamed and groaned. A.N. As you can see, I love description. Anyway, I glanced around and found Keefe sitting at Call's tree. Keefe? When I received no response, I walked in front of him to find him staring in pure horror. His eyes were sending out a silent plea. Panic bubbled in the pits of my stomach as I stared at his pale, anxious face. Look up? I didn't get what he meant as he moved his eyes up to his forehead. Forehead, hair, mind. Mind! Telepathy! I looked him in the eyes and got my approval before slipping in. Hello, Sophie. Chapter 3. Keefe. Hello, Sophie. My mom's voice rang around my mind. All I could see was Sophie, her eyes screwed shut and her lips pressed in a firm line. Hello, Gazella. Lady Gazella. I could imagine my mother frown. So tell me, how are you doing this? Manifest at this age? Must be awfully embarrassing having to communicate through your son all the time. Her laugh sent shivers down my spine. A mother's laugh is supposed to be reassuring, comforting, and gentle, and kind of blanket for protection against all your nightmares. But my mother's laugh was the cause of my nightmares, not my protection. No, dear, I simply changed his genes, and now I can use him as I please. So what do you want? You wouldn't have me talking through him right now if you didn't need something. Oh, Sophie, dear, you're so naive. If I wanted something from you, I would have had it by now. What I want is for you to be a witness, to witness how outsmarted you are. Sophie, get out! I yelled. She took the warning and slipped out of my mind. I felt her consciousness trickle away, taking all her warmth and light with her, leaving me in a black pit. It felt like I was drowning. I wanted to scream, but all I was met with was silence, like I was at the bottom of an ocean, with no one to save me. I was sinking and no one could hear me. It was dark and cold, and I was scared. I was scared. Sophie kept looking at me with fear and worry. I could feel her fear. Witness my control, Moonlark. The words left my mouth without my approval. They left without my consent. I was completely powerless over my own mind. That was terrifying. The one thing I thought I had control over was completely stripped away from me. Sophie, dear, I can control him at any time and anywhere, and you wouldn't know. But you just revealed you can, Sophie argued. Exactly. My mother spun me around so that she could see everyone else, the adults and the rest of my friends. Shame, really. You all have such bright minds, and with the right fine-tuning, you would really become one of the best. Shame, really. But I won't spell it out for you guys. What's the fun in that? Well, I have some business to attend to, but I'll leave you to unravel my little mind game. The feeling felt like the wind was being smacked out of my lungs, and my knees buckled right below me. Keefe! Foster sprinted right towards me, all her posture and calm fading like she flipped a switch. I'm okay. I cringed at how raspy my voice sounded. We need to figure out what she's up to. I think I know. Chapter 4. Sophie. You? I was right about the power, wasn't I? Yes, but how come she revealed herself right as you revealed it all? I shot back, helping Keefe stand up. Coincidence? Ethan tried lamely. What are you playing at? Grady growled. He was probably voicing the thought everyone but Mr. Forkle was having. Mr. Forkle. Why does he trust Keithan so? Right, he was the one who contacted him in the first place. That's correct, Miss Foster. I know you don't like this, but he, like your mother, are only trying to help you. They, like me, are trying to do what... No! Don't you dare say that. You're all trying to do what's best for me. Everyone's head snapped to where me and Mr. Rourke were standing. If you guys were even trying to, you would say the truth. You would stop hiding things all the time. Foster's right. You guys constantly go behind our backs and hide secrets, claiming you're doing what's best for us. But come on, let's be real. What's best for us is to stop being in the shadows all the time. Tell us the truth, or let's have the moony-eyed cognates drop into Mind Bomb's thoughts, he proposed. I say that's what me and Sophie should do, regardless. That way we will receive the truth, Fitz piped up, his voice stern and tough, hands curled into fists. Fine. Do what you must, Keithan sighed, and me and Fitz exchanged a glance before I looked at Keith, who had his arm around my shoulders. Around my shoulders! I had been so carried away I forgot to blush. Will you? You don't have to worry, I can stand, Foster. He smirked and slipped his arm away, and when we made eye contact, I could tell he felt the butterflies fluttering around my stomach, and they were not nerves for the feat I was about to do. Are you ready? Fitz asked me as we intertwined our fingers and stood before a calm-faced Keithan. As ready as I'll ever be. That's the end, for now. I promise I will write the next update soon, but I had to leave it somewhere, and where else was better? So for those of you who stayed for the audio, or didn't mute me, I'm sorry that I kind of stuttered and stuff, but I feel like it's just more natural if I stuttered and stuff instead of trying to record myself 3,000 times to make it perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that, and tell me in the comments down below if you preferred the audio version or music in the background matching the writing, or just some normal music without any lyrics. Tell me that in the comments below, and I'll see you all